Hello guys, good morning. This is RSJ Media. Today we are in the premise of the great empire in UCC. That is the great Hayford Hall. So I have with me one very gentleman. He's very handsome. He goes by the name Folo Okoh. Yes, I think a lot of you know Folo Okoh. So we are going to ask him some few questions about today's election, and then he being our treasurer, his expectations in today's election. So without wasting my time, let's move on straight to our very gentleman on the land of UCC, and then ask him some few questions. Folo Okoh.
Yeah, bro.
Good morning.
Yeah, bro. How
Please,
are you doing?
I'm doing great. What about you?
By God's grace, I'm also fine.
Thank God for that. Folo Okoh.
Yes.
Moving on campus, a lot of people are saying Folo Okoh, Folo Okoh, Folo Okoh. Why Folo Okoh?
Oh, okay. I think when I came to level 100, there was an aspirant. His name was Ebu. So he vied for the office of the local news president, and he came out victorious. And his teaser was Folo Ebu.
Okay.
Folo Ebu. So when I was coming, you see, with this election, usually you need to have a name that is catchy.
Yeah.
And so I thought of it, and I was like, okay, my name is Okoh. Then I should just add the Folo Okoh. Then that came the name Folo Okoh. Folo
Wow,
Okoh.
that's very great.
So the follow has to do with just follow someone.
Okay.
Okay.
A normal follow. So follow, yes.
But
okay.
we had to just, you see, it's a system, so you just have to do it in a way that people wouldn't know that it's a brand. Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's fine.
So as I earlier on said, he is the current hall treasurer for the great Hayford Hall. And then today there's a general election in UCC. Very soon he is going to hand his portfolio to someone who takes over today. So we want to ask him some questions. He is the current one, and then he giving out his portfolio to someone, the feeling that he has right now. So Folo Okoh, how do you feel?
I don't know how to describe it, to say whether it's good or bad, because sometimes it is nice serving people, but at the end of the day, as part of the system, you need to change hands so that someone else will come and then pick it up from where you stop. But the truth being told is that it has never been easy, particularly combining this work with academics. You don't even have time to study. So sometimes you feel like, yes, someone should come so you could hand over. Then you can also focus on your studies as well. Okay. So as we speak, well, let's say for me, I'm ready to hand over. Should the need be, should someone be elected today, that is what will happen today. Someone will be elected, and for sure I'll be expected to hand over. I'm ready to do that because it has never been easy. Not that serving the people has been the challenge, but then academics and other social life that you need to build, you can't get time. Sometimes you leave the hall, you come back around 7, 8, all because you want to do something for the hall.
Okay. Folo Okoh, I want to ask you a very probing question. So, being the current hall treasurer, you read out your manifesto, your policies a year ago. You said a lot of things. My question is, have you been able to achieve all those things?
Okay, if I'm being honest, I can say that we've not achieved all. We've not achieved all. But then, one thing about this whole administration or the executives, you sit, then you come up with all your ideas. Then after that, you prioritize.
Right.
Okay, so that you know how you, let me say, work.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, you see that I can say they are complicated. We work on them later on.
Okay.
And then when I was coming to office, I think that as at the time that I assumed office, it was, let me say, quite, let me say, deep in the same, somewhere around a month into a first semester, which has never happened before due to the COVID-19. Okay, so when we came, initially we were expected to publish, let me say, our budget after preparation. But due to the circumstances and the challenges that we encountered in doing that, we couldn't.
Right.
But then what we plan doing is that before we leave office, we would like to let fellows know what we did with their money, how much we received, how much we spent, and how much we are leaving for the next administration to come and continue from there. But I believe very well that a treasurer, you are, let me say, a tie of every administration. When I say tie, you see, a car has a tie.
Yes.
As soon as the tie is not there, you can see that the car will not move. That is how the office of the treasurer is. And the truth being told is that though all the executives, they work, everyone plays a vital role, but at the end of the day, most of the work is on the treasurer, because anything that has to do with money comes to you.
finance.
Okay. So the work of the treasurer is a very sensitive area that needs to be given that much attention. Okay. So when I came into office, we met as executives. We came out with what we want to do, and quickly, what do we do next? In this school, you just don't stand up and then you buy items.
Yeah.
You need to get the relevant documents. You need to go through the relevant processes before, when these things have been approved, you go ahead with your purchases. So the system has not been, let me say, that familiar or easy. But then we did our best. We tried our best, and then certain things that we told Casfordians that when given the mandate, we are going to ensure that they are done. At least, if not to say we've done that to a perfection, yes, we've done our part. Okay, and to say, we said when we come, Casford as a whole, we don't have certain facilities like basketball courts that we will use to entertain ourselves. So going forward, what are some of the measures we are putting in place? We needed to buy a snooker, a table tennis, and some things that the guys will have fun with.
Yeah.
And we can always say, people can testify to that fact that yes, we've been able to do something. We did it, but there are challenges. That is how leadership is. You do it, someone comes and continue from there. So going forward, I believe that the subsequent administration will come, look at some of the challenges that we encountered. They will work on it and they will serve better than we have.
Okay. Wow. That's quite interesting, Folo. We've said a lot about your administration. What are you looking up for upcoming aspirants?
Yeah. It's a very interesting question to ask because we are all different, and then we have different bases upon which we vote. People vote on, let me say, I know you, I came all the way from with you from the secondary school, he's my brother, he's my this. But at the end of the day, the question is the person competent enough for the job? That is the truth, because you can vote based on some of these reasons, and at the end of the day, the person will fail. Because you didn't check the capabilities of the person. You only checked your relationship with the person. I'm not saying that relationship is not important. It is important. But at the end of the day, the decision of this person goes ahead to affect you in return. So you should be very critical. What I'm expecting is that Casfordians will go out there and elect people that have the requisite skills, who have the ability to lead and serve the people. If you don't have the passion to serve, I trust you can't do it. Because I remember when we came to office, it wasn't easy at all. We had to walk all the way to Amamoma just inquiring about this snooker that we wanted to buy. It wasn't easy. You go to places, find out how much did you buy this, where did you buy it, okay, how can we get one? It wasn't easy. If you don't get people who are committed, they will be relaxed along the line because of how tedious the process is.
So we need committed people
to the work. That is the truth. Because if you don't have committed people, it is likely you are not going to achieve anything. And people, let me say, other halls can testify. Casford, we did certain things, and then other halls, their presidents called and they were like, how did we do it? How did we do it?
Okay.
We needed to expedite action because we knew very well that our time was very limited.
Okay.
So we needed to do certain things. So if you don't have people who are committed, people who, let me say, sometimes choose the academics over the service of the people, these are some of the things you encounter. Sometimes you don't go for lectures. We have to ask people to sit and learn so that they will come and teach us as well, so that we can. If it is time that Casfordians elect people who are very committed, not just, let me say, a portfolio, and for that matter, let me just go in there so that at the end of the day, I'll be given a citation, I'll be recommended, my name will be mentioned. No, it's about doing the work for the people.
Okay, Folo. Folo, to be frank with you, you said something like choosing the work over the academic aspect. I'm not buying that idea.
You see, the reason why I said that has to do with, as at the time I was vying for the position, I was in level 300, 400, okay? And so, the way the system is structured, if you are to work on your academics performance, then you should have done everything as at that level. Because when you get to level 400, you cannot do anything so extraordinary. That is, let me say, to push your class or something. You can, but then at a very slow or at a very little pace. Okay, so what we do is, when we come, we've done whatever we want to do. The class, we've already attained it. We are only defending whatever we've done so far. Then we go out of the system. So sometimes you need to sacrifice your class, but quizzes you can't. You sacrifice your class, your lectures. Sometimes I give my phone to a colleague, go to class, do a recording, bring it to me. So that maybe at my own leisure time, I sit down and then I listen to the recording. Then I make notes for myself. That is how the system is. You need to be very smart in doing certain things. If not, you can't. And before you even attempted to vie for the position, you knew these were some of the expectations. These were some of the things that were in there. And so you should be ready for anything.
Okay.
You should be able to go for the extra mile, go do whatever it takes to ensure that whatever you told the people has been achieved. Okay. So that is what it is. It's about the passion, the desire to serve. Okay. Because initially when we came to office, let me tell you this, I felt very bad because at the early stages we were not doing anything. People were not seeing anything. And they were like, oh, come on. You've not done anything. And me as a person, I feel very bad, knowing very well certain things that we told the people we would do. But as at that time, they were in the pipeline. We were working on them. Okay. So when you hear people saying you failed, and you feel very comfortable, then I'm sorry to say you don't have, let me say, that spirit of leadership in you. Because as a leader, you always have to make sure that you meet the needs and the requirements of your people. Not, let me say, all, but most, knowing very well how essential whatever you want to do for them will be to them. Then you should meet that task. Okay. So that is how it is. You should be ready to go the extra mile to satisfy your people.
Okay. So, the academic tax lies from that of level 100 to 300.
Of course.
Very good.
Of course.
So, anyone who is willing, who has that zeal to serve the whole, and then is in level 200. So what do you have to say to said person? Because if the person comes out, we said earlier on that the academic tax lies from that of level 100 to level 300, and this person is in level 200 and wants to take such a position. So would you advise said person to forget about that and get to level 300 or 400 before the person comes out with such initiative?
Okay, I wouldn't say you should wait till you get to level 300 or 400, but then you should know that experience is very important in everything you do. Yes. You see, people who are in level 200 vying for portfolios have, let me say, been in the system for only a year. And let me say, how much experience have they acquired? Okay. Any experience that they must have acquired has to be with something they've done earlier on before coming here. But let me say, on campus, first year, trying to adjust to the system, familiarizing yourself with the system and how things have been done. How much experience do you have? And so experience is very key. Okay. People who are in level 300 have spent 2 years in this school. And if not for anything, they've learned in level 100, they've learned in level 200. Not only academically, but leadership-wise. Okay. They've witnessed different leaders. They might have learned from them as well. And so going forward, they needed to apply some of these things. And so when I see, let me say, a level 200 student vying for this position, yes, your CGPA might have been good as at that time. But if you are not careful, because of the service that you are going to render, it is going to affect your academics. Okay. And that has always been, let me say, the norm or the truth. Okay. It is not easy merging academics with the leadership or serving the people. It has never been easy. But you need to be very strategic and you need to know when to do certain things at certain points in time.
Okay. So, talking of experience, Folo Okoh, have you served as a treasurer in any institution before?
No, I didn't serve as a treasurer, but then I was the financial secretary in the youth wing of my church. Okay, so going forward, what I did was that when I came to UCC and I had the intention to vie for this office, I joined the finance committee of this hall. Okay, and that was a learning opportunity for me. I worked with the then treasurer. I worked with him. I learned so many things from him. And then when I came, I realized, okay, these are some of the things that goes on there. Okay. So being the financial secretary and then the treasurer, they are quite similar but not the same. Okay. As a treasurer, you serve as a secretary and at the same time the treasurer, because you do your recordings, you deal with the monetary issues. But the secretary only has to do with the documentation, writing of only documents, and the treasurer will work with the money. But with this work that we are doing, you do the two spontaneously. Okay. So when I came, when I went to vetting, they asked me, how do you do this? I told them, yes, I've not been a treasurer before. And being a financial secretary, doesn't mean I qualify for a
that,
treasurer.
yes.
But I know that based on the experience, the little things that I've learned along the way, it will help me better off or do well when given the opportunity to serve. And I believe that, let me say, then executive who handed over to us were available. So whatever the need be, we could pick up our phones, call them, find out from them what were some of the things that you did when you were faced with this challenge.
Okay.
Okay.
So you consulted them for
advice.
Advice.
We consulted them how to go about things if we had no idea.
Okay.
And that helped us as well. Okay.
Wow.
So if you attain any leadership position, it's not only about serving, but it is also a learning platform for you.
Okay.
Okay. Though people say it is not try and error, but then you might, let me say, you don't know everything, you can't know everything, and for that matter, when you assume such positions, the little experience, the little knowledge that you have, you apply them, and then going forward you learn as well. Okay. So that is how the whole thing is. Yeah.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Okay, so this position, we know that that's a treasurer position, should be someone with good financial background.
Yes.
Before you can take such position. What do you have to say about this?
Oh yes, it is true, because with the work of the treasurer, it has to do with accounting, and so if your accounting background is not strong, then sorry to say, you are going to struggle.
Okay.
Because most of the things that we do has to do with money, and it's not only about the spending of the money, but how to record and account for it.
Okay.
Interesting to know, at the end of it, when we hand over, okay, we have auditors who will come from outside this school, come take our books, take our records, go through all these things, and whenever they find any error, you'll be questioned.
Wow.
You can be in the house, they will give you a phone call, come, they will pay your transportation, come and account. That is how strict the system is. And so it's not a system that you just come and then you do things your own way and then you go out. No. We work in an environment where people, or let me say rules and regulations, are working. Okay. So you need to have that accounting background. That is the truth.
Okay. So those who are willing to take such a portfolio, I think you have to learn from what Folo Okoh has said. Yes, I think it's very, very imperative. So, Folo Okoh,
yes.
To wrap up with you, what are you going to say to those we handed over?
Okay, I think I have worked with them, and I must say, or let me say, I must thank the people of Casford for giving us the opportunity to serve them. It has been a pleasure and let me say an honor working with them. Serving them has been something that we desired for, and they give us that opportunity. I worked with these executives, they have been very collaborative. Yes, you will surely encounter challenges, but then we've been able to work out our differences, we've been able to serve the people. We should just keep this relationship, this, let me say, understanding together, so that we all hand over, leave this school successfully, go work around the world, come back together as great men.
All right. Thank you very much, Folo Okoh. Hoping to speak with you some other time.
Okay.
So, thank you very much, viewers, for watching today's interview with our very gentleman, Folo Okoh. See you next time. Bye-bye.